Well, despite the heavy rain, I can tell you that voters are turning up in quite large numbers at noon. The levels of participation are around 22% of voters coming to polling stations like the one just behind me. It's significantly more than last week in the first round. At the same time, around 3 points more. So who will benefit from this increased participation? Of course, it's only noon here in Marseille, France's second largest city, and voters can go to the polling stations until 8 p.m. You've got three candidates remaining. You've got the incumbent Mayor Benoît Payan, socialist candidate. Then you've got Franck Allisio for the French far-right party, the National Rally. And then you've got the right-wing candidate, the conservative candidate, Martine Vassal, who obtained more than 10% of the votes in the first round and who decided to remain in the race. So you've got those three candidates. Why are we today in Marseille? Because it's the second largest city in France, because it's a multicultural city with 555,000 registered voters, a multicultural city that could go to the French far right, possibly because Franck Allisio finished in the first round closely behind Benoît Payan, the socialist. So the French far right at the gates of power here in Marseille, and that's why it's so closely watched in the country. It would be a historic victory for the French far right, but of course voters will have their say until 8 p.m. today. They can go to the polling stations and we should get the final results around 9 or 10, depending on how close the race is.
Now, Clovis, in the meantime, when you look at southern France, are there any other key races that are catching your eye or any other trends you're looking for?
Well, the five biggest cities here in France are Paris, Marseille, Lyon, Toulouse and Nice in fifth position, and that's where Éric Ciotti, the former boss of the Conservatives, who decided to make an alliance with the French far right, the National Rally, well, Éric Ciotti has a strong chance of winning in Nice, or at least when you look at the results in the first round of the election. He's facing his former friend turned arch rival, enemy one could say, Christian Estrosi for the Conservatives, the centre-right party. Christian Estrosi, who's the incumbent mayor, he's been in power for years and he's facing Éric Ciotti. Interesting situation, because here again you've got three candidates with a left-wing candidate who got more than 10% of the votes in the first round and who decided to remain in the race. I was talking to you about Nice. Further west, southwest, of course, you've got Toulouse, where the France Unbowed candidate, the French far left party, made an alliance, merged with the socialist candidate, and they're making a left-wing bloc against the centre-right conservative incumbent mayor. That's in Toulouse. And maybe one word about Lyon. Lyon, also a close race with the incumbent mayor Doucet for the Green Party. He's heading a left-wing bloc while he's facing a rather unusual candidate. It's Jean-Michel Aulas, centre-right. Jean-Michel Aulas, the name is making these young Marseillais laugh a bit. Well, Jean-Michel Aulas is the former president of Olympique Lyonnais, a very famous French football club, and he is running so against the incumbent mayor Doucet for the left-wing bloc, and we'll be bringing you all of the results during the day and tonight, of course.